Good morning, America. For our viewers in the West, fallout after a serious national security breach, a miracle on ice, and March Madness heats up. Stunning lapse in national security. Members of the Trump administration inadvertently shared details for an attack in Yemen, including a journalist on a text chain with a vice president and defense secretary.
I think I've discovered a massive security breach in the United States national security system.
This morning, the administration's response.
Spring scorcher, the record heat making waves in the West, plus 3 wildfires burning in North Carolina outside Asheville, 0% contained.
This morning, the suspected cause of death for the 14-year-old son of former Yankees star Brett Gardner revealed after he got sick on vacation in Costa Rica.
Spring break warning, a Tennessee mother's scary dolphin experience that landed her in the hospital.
I felt like I was in a car accident because it hit me super hard.
What happened to her at a popular tourist attraction and how the dolphins tried to help her.
Incendiary devices found at a Tesla dealership in Austin, how the FBI is responding.
Breaking overnight, USC star and front-runner for Player of the Year, Juju Watkins, carried off the court a season-ending injury. What's next for the young star and her team?
Miracle on ice. How a man and 2 kids survived a plane crash into an icy lake in bitterly cold conditions for 12 hours.
Rodeo Drive, a wild scene on a Houston highway, how the cattle got loose.
And overtime thriller overnight. An incredible comeback for the Terps. While Paige Beckers leads UConn to the Sweet 16 again. And what she did for her fellow Huskies, other than all those buckets.
Live from Times Square, it's Tuesday. Good morning, America.
We certainly do say good morning, America.
Yes.
A lot happening on the court overnight. Unfortunately, that injury to Juju Watkins, heartbreaking indeed.
Absolutely. More on that. Big wins on the court, though. Also off the court, too. We have details on the $1 million March Madness Bracket Challenge winner.
A very big win. Plus, Ginger is standing by tracking the spring scorcher and those wildfires. You see them right there behind her in North Carolina.
They certainly don't need that. But we're going to begin with the fallout from the national security breach in the Trump administration. A reporter was mistakenly included in a group chat about an attack in Yemen on a publicly available messaging app. Our chief global affairs anchor, Martha Raddatz, is tracking the latest for us. Good morning to you, Martha.
Good morning, Robin. If adversaries had managed to hack those messages, this could have potentially cost lives. The president's national security team apparently using personal phones to talk about war planning. And one of the members of the chat group, according to the timeline, was in Russia at the time.
This morning, fallout from that stunning lapse in national security. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, along with other top members of President Trump's national security team, sharing details about a planned large-scale attack on Yemen earlier this month on the commercial message app Signal, and inadvertently including journalist Jeffrey Goldberg on that chain.
I think that this is a spoof. I think that someone is running a hoax.
In an article published Monday, the editor-in-chief at The Atlantic saying just days before the U.S. attack on the Iranian-backed Houthis in Yemen, he received a connection request from what appeared to be National Security Advisor Mike Waltz, and was then added to a chat group called Houthi PC Small Group. PC, or Principals Committee, generally refers to a group of the senior-most national security officials.
My reaction was, I think I've discovered a massive security breach in the United States national security system.
Inside the chat, the names of Vice President J.D. Vance, Hegseth, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, CIA Director John Ratcliffe, Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard, and others.
It's a robust conversation. It's actually pretty impressive in some ways. They're going back and forth. A lot of resentment directed at European allies of the United States, which obviously enhanced the credibility of this chain, because everybody in the chain sounded like the people I know who are in this administration.
Vance, who is normally in lockstep with the president, texting the group at 8:16 on Friday, March 14th, saying, "I think we're making a mistake," pointing out that what's happening off the coast of Yemen affects European trade more than U.S. trade. I am not sure the president is aware how inconsistent this is with his message on Europe right now, Vance says, and suggests delaying the strikes for a month. Hegseth responds to Vance 11 minutes later, saying, waiting a month does not fundamentally change the calculus. In what The Atlantic says is a screenshot of the signal chat Goldberg was added to, at 8:45, Vance responding, if you think we should do it, let's go. I just hate bailing out Europe again. Hegseth responding, I fully share your loathing of European freeloading. It's pathetic. The next day, March 15th, at 11:44, Hegseth posts a team update revealing the strikes would commence in 2 hours. Goldberg says Hegseth shared operational details of forthcoming strikes, weapons deploying, and attack sequencing.
I receive a text in this chain from someone who claims to be Pete Hegseth, who provides what I would only call a war plan. It became sort of overwhelmingly clear to me that this was a real group. So I happen to be in my car. I sort of wait with my phone to see if this is a real thing. Sure enough, around 1:50 Eastern time, I see that Yemen is under attack.
According to Goldberg, the administration officials reacting after the strikes, excellent, a good start. Waltz even sending several emojis. The White House National Security Council confirming the authenticity of the thread, saying, we are reviewing how an inadvertent number was added to the chain. But Hegseth last night blasting the report.
I've heard it was characterized, nobody was texting war plans, and that's all I have to say about that.
Hours later, Goldberg describing again what he saw in those texts, disputing Hegseth's denial.
That's a lie. He was texting war plans. He was texting attack plans. When targets were going to be targeted, how they were going to be targeted, who was at the targets, when the next sequence of attacks were happening.
And when asked about The Atlantic's report Monday, the president saying he was unaware of the story.
I don't know anything about it. I'm not a big fan of The Atlantic. To me, it's a magazine that's going out of business.
Lawmakers across both sides of the aisle now demanding a full investigation. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, not mincing words, attacking Hegseth.
The Secretary of Defense, who was on that chain, has got to be the most unqualified person ever to lead the Pentagon in American history.
Tulsi Gabbard and John Ratcliffe will be on Capitol Hill today for a previously scheduled hearing where they are expected to be grilled. It was Steve Witkoff, the president's special envoy, who was in Russia while on the chat group, according to the timeline. And this morning, President Trump is now apparently well aware of the breach and mocking the reporter online. Robin?
All right, Martha. Thanks to you for your reporting. We're going to turn now to the wildfires in North Carolina and the heat wave out west. Ginger is here tracking it all.
Yeah, when you are dry and then breezy, fires start really fast. That's why we wanted to start with this video. You can see just a little spark spreads into a grass fire. Lawn equipment can do it. A cigarette butt can do it. When it's this dry in South Carolina, North Carolina, you're going to see those spread. And we have seen it. They're calling it now the Black Cove Complex Fire. 3 major fires put together, more than 5,700 acres burned. This is south and east of Asheville. The smoke will be traveling east of the cities that you see on the map here because the wind is kind of represented by those arrows. Now, Asheville, 30-mile-per-hour gusts, Flat Rock, 31, and Lake Lurie, also 31-mile-per-hour gusts. We're going to be gusty again through tomorrow afternoon, so that doesn't stop. Anything that starts, and certainly the fire that's already started, is going to keep being fueled by that. So there's an elevated fire danger. By Thursday, we start to see the wind shift and start to diminish a bit. You mentioned the heat. Just wanted to say Dallas today could see their first 90-plus degree day. That's about a month ahead of average. So 90 there, and you could see records all the way up to Seattle.
Yeah. That warm-up just getting started. All right, Ginger, thank you. We turn now to the latest on the legal battle over the Trump administration's deportation flights. A federal judge telling government lawyers that Nazis during World War II got better treatment than the hundreds of Venezuelans who were flown to an El Salvador prison. Our senior national correspondent, Terry Moran, is at the White House with the latest. Terry, good morning.
Good morning. With the showdown between the president and the courts keeps intensifying, and it's reached the appeals court where the president's claim that he has the power to deport people without any due process got a fierce grilling. The fight over President Trump's order to deport hundreds of Venezuelans is now in the hands of the U.S. Court of Appeals in Washington, and one judge is pulling no punches.
Nazis got better treatment under the Alien Enemy Act. People weren't given notice. They weren't told where they were going. Those people on those planes on that Saturday had no opportunity to file habeas or any type of action to challenge the removal.
At issue is the deportation of hundreds of alleged gang members who were flown to a notorious prison in El Salvador under the Alien Enemies Act of 1798, a law last used during World War II when Germans, Japanese, and Italians were deported, and every deportee got a hearing to challenge the government's case. Judge Patricia Millett warning about the lack of due process now.
If the government says we don't have to give process for that, then y'all could have picked me up on Saturday and thrown me on a plane, thinking I'm a member of Tren-Aragua and given me no chance to protest it and say somehow it's a violation of presidential war powers for me to say, excuse me, no, I'm not. I'd like a hearing.
Trump's border czar Tom Homan firing back.
Well, that's first of all, it's ridiculous. It's just another example of a radical judge saying something that's just disgusting. To compare anything to the Nazis, the Holocaust. We follow the law.
President Trump is targeting the courts, calling for the impeachment of Judge James Boasberg. He's the judge who verbally ordered the government to turn the planes carrying the Venezuelans around. They weren't. The administration has accused the men without providing evidence of being violent gang members. In the appeals court, Judge Justin Walker suggested Boasberg has overstepped his authority.
Can you, standing here, give us an example of a district court injunction that enjoined a national security operation partially overseas that survived appellate review?
Now, congressional Republicans are turning up the pressure, announcing hearings on Judge Boasberg next week, as the president, Elon Musk, and other allies call for the judge's impeachment and more scrutiny of the courts. And the pressure keeps ratcheting up. The Justice Department now telling Judge Boasberg that it will invoke the state secrets privilege, and that's designed to stop the judge's inquiry into what happened when those planes took off from the United States and ended up in El Salvador, and he wants to know whether his order was disobeyed. He's already said he doesn't think that privilege applies. Rebecca?
Some big legal questions there. Okay, Terry, thank you. We turn now to the FBI launching a task force to investigate a series of arson attacks against Tesla. This as authorities say incendiary devices were found Monday at a Tesla showroom in Austin, Texas. That's the city where Elon Musk's company has its headquarters. Maria Villarreal is there, and good morning to you, Maria.
Hey, good morning, Rebecca. The FBI says the people responsible for what happened right here in Austin and other incidents are likely lone offenders. They work late at night, making it much harder to find them.
Well, the FBI's here. That's not good, huh?
This morning, the FBI launching a new task force after incendiary devices were found at this Tesla dealership in Austin, Texas. Austin PD's bomb squad responding to the scene after reports of suspicious packages came in. The investigation comes after a wave of vandalism across the country. Reports of at least 48 Tesla-related incidents since founder Elon Musk began working with the Trump administration.
Just a thank you to the Doge team who are literally getting death threats and being accosted.
Wrapping up a second cabinet meeting, the president issuing a blunt warning.
But I think they're going to suffer very grave consequences because they're really terrorists when you think about it. They're terrorists at a high level.
The administration framing the incidents as domestic terrorism. FBI Director Kash Patel saying in a statement those responsible will be pursued, caught, and brought to justice.
Wow.
The president adamant about his support for Musk and Tesla.
They got to support him because if he wasn't doing this, he wouldn't have any of these difficulties.
A global day of action has been set for March 29th. That's this Saturday with a call for peaceful protest. Now, already today, we've seen a private security guard roaming around this particular location. We understand FBI and local law enforcement will be on high alert to make sure they protect all those other 500 Tesla dealerships around the world. Robin?
A lot of tense moments there, Maria. Thank you. Now to March Madness, and the Women's Sweet 16 is set this morning after that thrilling double overtime victory, but also that heartbreaking injury for one of the major stars in the women's game. That was hard to watch, Will Reed.
It was, Robin. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. That's about as big and bad and sad a deal as it gets. A season-ending injury to one of the faces of the sport, which could have a major ripple effect on the whole women's bracket. 16 teams remain there, by the way.
Overnight heartbreak on the hardwood.
And Watkins goes down hard, and she's grabbing her right knee, quickly grimacing in pain.
USC suffering a devastating loss as superstar Juju Watkins went down with a season-ending injury in the first quarter against Mississippi State.
See right away the look on her face.
The sophomore had to be carried off the court after tearing her ACL in her right knee. And news overnight, the frontrunner for Player of the Year will be out for the rest of the tournament, her injury requiring surgery. Even without their superstar, the Trojans easily rolled over the Bulldogs 96-59.
I think they felt, some kind of way about Ju not being in there with them, but we rallied in a way of just getting tougher and cleaner with our execution.
Meanwhile, Maryland and Alabama providing the game of the night. A thriller going to 2 overtimes. Maryland hanging on to win despite a career-high 45 points from Alabama's Sarah Ashley Barker. The Terrapins now have a date set with the defending champs, South Carolina. This year marking the first time Maryland's men's and women's teams are both in the second weekend of the Big Dance.
It was really a fight. We went double overtime, but we just kept playing for each other.
Williams is wide open. Bam. That's a three.
And for LSU, sophomore star Michaela Williams pouring in 28 points.
And how about that finish?
In a blowout of Florida State, Flau'jae Johnson scored 13 of her own. All on the heels of appearing in this Powerade ad, rapping and bawling.
I know it take more, so I don't care about what others do. Beckers, hangs, and hits.
And perhaps no one shined brighter than UConn's Paige Beckers, dropping a career-high 34 points in her final home game as a Husky. Fans there electric and grateful to Beckers, who had bought 1,500 student tickets to the game and gave them away to fans as a thank you for their support.
Thank you for this season, for everything.
Paige is for the fans. She's also for her teammates. How about this? She helps her teammate, Jana El Alfi, by making breakfast for her during Ramadan, which is this month. She wakes up at 5 a.m., cooks breakfast, says she sometimes goes right back to bed while her teammate eats. And by the way, Gino Auriemma, winningest college coach of all time, gets another one. Huskies into the Sweet 16, the 32nd appearance there. That's their 5th straight.
Wow. 5th straight, yeah. They're back.
They are back.
Baby. All right, well, thank you. Coming up, we got the remarkable miracle rescue on ice. Rhiannon Alley has those details for us. Rhiannon?
Hey, Robin, wait till you hear this story. A plane crashed into this icy lake with a man and 2 kids on board. I'll tell you how they survived and were saved after 12 long hours in the frigid waters.
Just remarkable. Thanks, Rhiannon. Plus, a Tennessee mother's scary spring break dolphin experience that landed her in the hospital.
And the latest on the investigation into the death of the 14-year-old son of former Yankees star Brett Gardner. More on that.
Coming up new at 7:30, a Texas traffic jam caused by some cattle. You called it a rodeo drive, is that right,
Or
Wayne?
rodeo drive.
Back here on GMA, that, of course, Miley Cyrus's hit Flowers, which earned the superstar her first ever Grammy Award. Now she's working on another project, and it's something beautiful for her fans. Lara will have all the details coming up in Pop News.
Love that jam, too. We'll be singing that all morning long. All right, first, let's take a look at what's new at 7:30. Nearly 90 people were injured in a new Russian attack on the Ukrainian city of Sumy. 17 of the injured are children. Ukraine says a school and residential buildings were at the center of the attack. Fortunately, the students were in shelters when the missiles rained down. Sumy is located just 20 miles from the border with Russia. Also, lawyers for CEO murder suspect Luigi Mangione are accusing prosecutors of failing to turn over evidence. They're also asking a judge to give Mangione access to a computer to prepare his defense. He's charged with shooting United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson.
Also, sources telling ABC News that Boeing is trying to withdraw the guilty plea agreement it made with the Justice Department after 2 deadly crashes of its 737 MAX jets, as first reported by the Wall Street Journal. Some of the families of the victims say they are deeply disappointed. And Warren Buffett holds a NCAA bracket contest for his company, and this year someone won the $1 million grand prize. The winner correctly predicted 31 of the 32 games in the first round of the men's tournament. Those were some tough odds.
Yes.
I know.
Well
do they go
done.
back to work after that?
Yeah, I think when it's Warren Buffett, you do. I think so.
I think so. I think you're both right about that. Now we have the tragic death of the 14-year-old son of former Yankee star Brett Gardner. We're learning new details about what happened on their family vacation in Costa Rica. Trevor Ault is here with the latest for us. Good morning.
Good morning. So this has been horrific and bizarre from the very beginning, the sudden death of this 14-year-old. And now Costa Rican officials have revealed to us what they believe may have gotten this family sick and killed Miller Gardner.
This morning, the stunning suspected cause of death for the son of former baseball star Brett Gardner. The Costa Rican government tells ABC News 14-year-old Miller Gardner appears to have died of asphyxiation after falling ill from possible food intoxication, an illness caused by bacteria, viruses, or parasites in food. The Gardner family says Miller died Friday morning after he and several other family members got sick on vacation, saying, "We have so many questions and so few answers at this point." The Gardners reportedly were staying at the Arenas del Mar beachfront and rainforest resort, which advertises itself as the only luxury resort in Manuel Antonio. It is not known where Gardner got sick. The hotel tells ABC News in a statement, quote, "We are deeply saddened by this loss. The factors that led to this tragic incident are unknown, and we are fully cooperating with authorities as they investigate. Toxicology exams and an autopsy still need to be finalized, after which Miller's body will be returned to the United States. The U.S. State Department says it's monitoring the investigation."
A three-run home run for Brett Gardner.
Brett Gardner played 14 seasons with the New York Yankees. His former teammates and coaches now mourning the loss.
I'd like to start by sending my thoughts and prayers to Jessica and Brett Gardner. Obviously, I had a really good relationship with him, and, we're thinking about him.
Now, we still don't know what Miller or the rest of the family may have eaten that made them ill. We do know several players have said they are grieving with their former teammate, but also their kids were friends with Miller. Their families are grieving, too.
So many people grieving this.
Yeah,
okay, Trevor.
devastating.
Thank you. Yeah. We turn now to the miracle on ice. A man and two kids survived a plane crash into an icy lake in Alaska. Rhiannon Alley has the story and how they were found. This is incredible. Good morning, Rhiannon.
Good morning, Rebecca. It really is remarkable. The three were standing on the wreckage for some 12 hours in the bitterly cold conditions overnight. But a small community there jumped in to help, and we talked to the man who spotted the survivors and the wreckage.
This is the image of a small plane hours after crashing into an icy lake in Alaska. A man and two children standing on the wing of the partially submerged plane. The details of their survival just now coming to light.
I looked down and I could see the ice over the lake that's up there at the moraine at the toe of the glacier. And I could see kind of a dark spot.
The plane, like this one, had been reported overdue Sunday night. The Coast Guard and Alaska National Guard then launching a search. Good Samaritans also flying early yesterday to search the Kenai Peninsula. And thanks to cell phone pings, they focused on the area around Tustamena Lake.
At first, I could tell it was an airplane wing. And so I made an announcement on the radio that I think I may have spotted them. I could see that there was three people on top of the wing. It was really good to see.
Their ordeal floating on the wreckage of that plane had lasted some 12 hours with overnight temperatures near freezing.
They spent a very cold, long, dark, wet night out on top of the wing of an airplane on soft ice, and it's a miracle. When I first saw the wing up there, it broke my heart because I know what happens when airplanes break through the ice. Fortunately, they got out of the airplane in time, either before it sank all the way or they got out through the skylights.
Other pilots were in the area at the time.
It was incredible to be a part of it and to find him. The fact that the community pulled together is exactly what I would expect of fellow Alaskans.
Just incredible. The pilot and the kids were taken to the hospital. No word on their conditions this morning, but just to imagine, pretty much anyone with a plane in that area jumped into action as soon as they heard they were missing. It's incredible.
Yeah, the clock was ticking right away, too.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Rhiannon. We appreciate it. Now, with a warning about a popular spring break attraction that landed a mother of two in the hospital. She was riding dolphins in Jamaica when she took a terrible fall. Janae Norman is here with the story. Janae, good morning. This was a serious injury.
A serious injury, Whit. And of course, right now we're right in the heart of spring break season, and it's on vacation that you get to do all kinds of these fun experiences. This one involving swimming with dolphins comes with a warning, though, about the risks after this freak accident.
This morning, a warning about a popular spring break adventure.
I felt like I was in a car accident because it hit me super hard.
Sierra Stockard, a Tennessee mother of 2, was on a getaway in Jamaica with friends when they decided to visit the Dolphin Cove, where tourists can go swimming with dolphins.
You swim out and then you grab their fins and they swim you back, and they'll kiss you and high five you and stuff like that.
Sierra opting for a special experience called the Royal Swim, where the dolphins push you into a standing position. She says she did it once but didn't get a great photo, so she tried again.
The dolphin on my left side was kind of swimming a little bit faster than the dolphin on my right side. So it made me unbalanced. I just knew I was going to fall into the water. I just didn't expect to hit the fin.
She slipped and fell, landing on the dolphin's dorsal fin, causing a grapefruit-sized hematoma or blood clot.
I started panicking. It did knock the wind out of me that I was just like, oh my gosh.
Sierra has sickle cell anemia and had to be rushed to the hospital near Montego Bay to undergo emergency surgery.
Luckily, I'm in stable conditions to not be like all the way on my deathbed, but my hemoglobin can keep dropping at any time.
Experts say before you try one of these adventures, you've got to know the risks.
Well-designed animal experiences can be excellent opportunities to connect with nature, but they are wild animals. No matter, what condition they are in, they are wild animals. So people need to know that they are up to the experience.
Sierra says one thing she's grateful for, those animals. She says the dolphins knew she was injured and tried to help.
They came and rubbed against me and stopped their bodies from swimming to be right beside me. They're the doctors of the sea is what people call them.
Doctors of the sea. Really sweet how the animals responded. We reached out to Dolphin Cove but haven't heard back. As far as Sierra, she says she wishes she had travel insurance because she believes that would have helped cover some of her medical bills. Last night she flew back to Tennessee. She was admitted to Vanderbilt University Medical Center. That's where she's still being treated, guys. But imagine such a fun adventure and takes a terrible turn.
All right, Janine. Thank you. Now with a wild scene on the highway in Houston, Lara's here with that story for us.
Why would you say that?
Because I know you.
I'm so confused. It is a tale of a wayward group of cattle on the loose in Texas, tying up traffic and stopping motorists from, yes, moving.
I-45, chasing cattle, baby.
An utterly chaotic scene in Texas.
What do you mean cows are running around on the highway?
A herd of cattle running loose on a major highway in Houston Monday, eluding capture for hours. The freeway temporarily closing in both directions as officials and bystanders tried to wrangle the animals to safety.
They're running southbound on the northbound lanes.
We've got cows on the main lanes.
Some drivers attempting to trap the livestock with their vehicles as the animals hop the median into oncoming traffic.
Well, this big bull running down the highway and several officers chasing after it, and they can't catch it. I think it just crossed to the other side, so hopefully they can get their hands on it, man.
The cattle being transported from a rodeo when the latch to their vehicle opened. They're trained to avoid being caught, at least one, though, getting hit by a car.
They're doing good. They're doing well. A few scars and bruises, but, none of the medicine won't fix.
Eventually, though, all 6 of them were recovered safely.
Only in Houston. That's a Texas thing.
Yeah, it's a Texas thing. All of the cattle are fine. And we have a fun fact for you. The Harris County Sheriff's Office has a livestock unit with deputies who are trained to handle incidents just like this. And lucky for all involved, they did a great job.
You sure did.
Everybody is safe. You had the pun of the day with rodeo drop.
Oh, the rodeo. Yes. They needed a bullhorn to get all this.
Oh, well done.
We're going to milk this for
Is this thing working? Is it? Hello? Sorry.
Oh, my goodness. I warned you, did I not? Coming up, Naomi Watts is here. Have you seen her co-star?
Oh, hi,
Bing! That's Bing!
Hi, Bing.
They're going to tell us about their new movie. There he is.
Is he available for adoption?
Good morning, America. It's 8 a.m. Spring scorcher, the record heat making waves in the West. Plus 3 wildfires burning in North Carolina outside Asheville. 0% contained. Ginger is tracking it all, including the new cross-country storm.
One-on-one with Amanda Knox on her quest to be free, talking about her new book, what she's learned along the way, and what she's telling her children about her ordeal.
The final rose.
Juliana?
Yeah.
Will you marry me?
Yes!
Bachelor Grant Ellis is engaged. The couple sitting down with GMA overnight.
And Michael Simon is here, cooking up some delicious dishes for the grill. And he's saying,
Good morning, America.
Live from Times Square, it's Tuesday. Good morning, America.
Okay, keep going.
Yeah,
over
let's
there.
do this. Let's do it. Ba-dum-boom.
This is when I call you Becky instead of Rebecca. That's
This
Becky.
is the nerd alert.
Yep, singing along.
Good morning, America. Always a treat when our good
Yes.
friend Michael Simon is here. Looking forward to what he's cooking up as we get ready for grill season.
I do love a grill season, and Tori Johnson has a fun nod to grilling in baseball with great deals and steals for your home and kitchen. Our spring refresh this morning has bargains starting at just $5.
Also ahead, the new report on healthy aging and your diet. Chief Medical Correspondent Dr. Narula is here to break it all down.
But first, we're going to look at the top stories breaking at 8, starting with the heat wave out west and the wildfires in North Carolina. Ginger is back and tracking that and more. Ginge?
Hey, they're calling this the Black Cove Complex now, Robin. It is 3 major wildfires combined that cover more than 5,700 acres burned. They've got it 0% contained. This is about 30 to 45 miles south and east of Asheville, North Carolina. So that's the position of it. The winds are going to be from the west blowing toward the east, so you won't be seeing the smoke come that way, but you will have a gusty day. Relative humidity is low. It's been very dry, some parts of the state in moderate drought, but also on top of that, the wind and the humidity staying so low for the next couple of days is going to be a problem. By the time you're traveling I-26, you might start to see some smoke on Wednesday afternoon, but then the wind shifts and gets a little bit lighter on Thursday. We also just wanted to note today Dallas could see their first 90+ degree of the season. That would be about a month ahead of schedule. Records possible up through Medford, Seattle, even into Idaho. Phoenix, if they hit 100, it would be the earliest on record, Whit.
Hey, thank you so much, Ginger. We appreciate it. Now to Amazon, which is kicking off its spring sale this morning. Becky Worley joins us with the deals to jump on and those to skip. Becky, good morning. Give us the goods.
Whit, good morning. From what I've seen of the Amazon Spring Sale, the deals can be decent and in some cases good, but most are not Black Friday type prices. Let me give you some examples. We have found a Sony Bravia 65-inch LED TV. It was $19.99. Now it's come down to $11.98. That's a historically low price, so thumbs up. But on the flip side, we found an Eero Mesh Wi-Fi router system that's not at a historically low price. It's been as low as $194, but it's on sale now for $224, so meh. One trick I want to share with you to get discounts on your staples, things you buy regularly at Amazon. Once you're signed in, go to the Buy Again tab, and you're going to see all the things you regularly buy, and they'll have the current real-time prices listed. So if any of those are on sale, now is a good time to restock. Final tactical advice. When Amazon starts discounting, all retailers take notice and start cutting prices to stay competitive. So Walmart has a sale, including Crocs, up to 55% off. Crocs, what are those? Kohl's, if you spend $50 on toys, you're going to get $10 off. REI has a big sale going on now. It's a good time to get ready for those summer outdoor activities. And I previewed this Target deal last week, but it is the real star of the show in these sales, if you ask me. Spend $40 on personal care items, get $10 in a Target gift card. Spend $50 on household items, you'll get a $15 Target gift card. Those are things you're probably going to buy anyways, and those gift cards, I love free money. Who doesn't love free money, right, Whit?
We all love the free money. And the Becky Meth Meter. The Becky Meth Meter is pretty great,
tactical
too.
Advice.
Thank you, Becky. Tactical advice. Okay, we're going to turn now to a GMA health alert about your diet and aging. New research suggests one diet may help you live longer and healthier. And our chief medical correspondent, Dr. Narula, joins us with the details. It's so nice to see you, as always. So break this research down for us, Doc.
Well, a lot of us think about aging in terms of preventing wrinkles on the outside, but
How do we age better on the inside? And we know that food is medicine, diet is so important for this. And so this study looked at something a little bit different. Previously, we've looked at how diet impacts specific conditions like cardiovascular disease, diabetes, or improving our longevity. This study looked at how does it help us healthy age? How do we become healthy agers? And really what that meant was how do we reach the age of 70 without developing chronic diseases, being able to have good quality of life, to be able to live independently and really think well cognitively, live well mentally and physically. And so they looked at about 100,000 individuals in midlife. They looked at 8 different diet patterns and followed them for about 30 years. And while all of the diets seemed to have benefits, there was really one that kind of rose to the top. And also important to say, only about 9% of people in this study reached healthy aging. But again, when they looked at those specific diets, the one that rose to the top was the AHEI, Alternative Healthy Eating Index, which you may not have heard of, but about people who adhered to that in the highest fashion had an 86% higher likelihood of achieving healthy aging. And those individuals who ate more ultra-processed foods had a 32% lower likelihood of reaching healthy aging.
That 9% figure is disconcerting,
low,
though,
right?
that like most people are not able to even eat in a way that's better for their health.
That's right.
And what do you recommend for people who want to make those adjustments?
Yeah, so it's not that hard. And to be honest, this is sort of what I recommend to my patients. All of these diets generally say relatively the same thing with a few little variations. But the AHE diet, AHEI, says you should eat a diet that's high in fruits, vegetables, legumes, nuts, whole grains, unsaturated fats, and then limited amounts of animal products and dairy. In this particular diet, which was developed by researchers, they give a score to food. So if you eat more fruits, you get a higher score. More vegetables, higher score. The highest score you can get is about 110. Now, most people are not going to sit there and score their diet, but in general, if you think about 5 servings of vegetables a day, 4 servings of fruits, 5 servings of whole grains, oats, barley, unsaturated fats like canola oil or safflower oil, fish, nuts, legumes, and even tofu, this is generally a healthy way of eating, and then avoiding things like trans fats, red meat, processed meats, sugar, alcohol, and sodium.
I know there are caveats to everything, but protein is so in vogue right now. If it's processed, do you eat it or not?
So generally, again, if you're going to eat animal protein, we usually say the lean meats like chicken or turkey, and then tofu has protein and legumes and nuts. So you can get it from a lot of different sources.
Dr. Narula, thanks so much.
Thank you.
And coming up, guys, in our GMA morning menu, Amanda Knox is here sharing what she's learned on her journey going from an Italian prison back to her life.
And also had Miley Cyrus revealing something beautiful about her brand new album. That's ahead in Pop News.
Plus Naomi Watts and Bing. And they're both here. He's her co-star in a great new movie, and she's going to tell us all about it and more. And Lara, you have a special guest.
Yes, spring is here. Temperatures are rising, and that means grilling season for so many of us. Yes, our friend Michael Simon is with us today with some great recipes that will get you cooking outdoors. That's coming up right here on GMA. New cookbook.
Bit of a better day today after all that rain on Monday.
We'll take it.
Yes, we will. And we're going to be heading to Asheville, North Carolina on Thursday to see how that area is recovering 6 months after Hurricane Helene tore a path of destruction throughout the southeast. I'll be joining Ginger and Sam in Asheville, where we will be live talking to community members about how far they have come, how far they still have to go. And it's just a way to shine a light and let them know that we have not forgotten.
Show their resilience.
Yeah, all right. And Rebecca, looking forward to this next conversation you're going to have.
Thank you, Robin. And we are looking forward to your conversations in Asheville coming up as well. We're going to turn now to our GMA cover story and the latest in the story of our next guest, Amanda Knox. She was jailed and later acquitted of the 2007 murder of her roommate, Meredith Kercher, in Italy. But this past January, the country's highest court upheld her slander conviction for falsely accusing her former boss of Meredith's murder. And while she doesn't face any additional jail time, Amanda is still working to clear her name completely and is telling more of her story in a new book called Free, My Search for Meaning. And it's great to have you with us, Amanda. Thanks for being with us on GMA this morning.
Thank you so much for having me. It's great to be here.
So in this book, you talk so much about freedom. and it's about mental freedom, it's about physical freedom, and yet you have this small part of your case which has not been overturned. Why write about this through the prism of your experience?
Oh, wow. I mean, so I'm glad you mentioned it, because it's like, I think a lot of people ask me, why don't I like move on from this story? And it's like, well, first of all, I remain wrongly convicted, and I am attempting to overturn this wrongful conviction that was based on a retraction of the statements that I was coerced into signing. So it's really a Kafkaesque, gaslighty nightmare that I'm continuing to live. But like, I think the message and the big takeaway of my book is that all of these external things are happening to us all the time, not just to me. I happen to have a very big, strange, and overwhelming experience, but ultimately we all sometimes feel trapped and like we're not the protagonist. We don't have a say in our own stories and in our own lives. And I think that it's a shift in perspective that took me a long time to develop, that really made me realize that whatever people say about me out in the world doesn't define who I am. I am not boxed in by their narratives. I can stand up on that box and tell my own story.
And it's really poignant. You're sitting in your prison cell at one point in the book, and you talk about where you look, whether you look out the window or you look at the locked door. That has a big difference in how you feel about life and whether you feel free.
Absolutely. Fun fact, I'm claustrophobic, and I've always been claustrophobic. So when I found myself trapped in a prison cell, I was obviously very triggered. And when I would look at that barred door, that solid steel door that I could not open, there wasn't even a handle, I would go into a panic attack. But then a small shift to the window where I could see a bell tower in the distance, or if I looked closely, I could see bunnies frolicking in the grass. Like, that made it possible for me to center myself, to ground myself. And it's really a beautiful metaphor, again, for how do we frame our existence? How do we frame our perspective? How do we see the world clearly so that we can be effective agents in our own lives?
You're a mom now, 2 children, a 3-year-old and a 1.5-year-old. You're 37 years old. What would you tell your 20-year-old self?
Oh, I've had to learn to grieve for my 20-year-old self, because in a way she did not survive her study abroad experience. Like, there was a girl who never had anything bad happen to her, who went there with an open heart and an open mind, and then got thrown into this insane experience. And the person who I was at 20 did not get to come home and did not get to have that life back that she so wanted, to be an anonymous college student. And I guess, like, you know, there's a chapter in the book where I talk about talking to my younger self, as a 20-year-old in prison, talking to my younger self, giving her advice, helping her find her way through. And I wished that me at 37 could be there to say, like, Amanda, it's not your fault, and you're gonna be okay. You are. And everything that you're grieving that's being stolen from you right now, you're actually so lucky, because you're gonna get it back, and you're gonna be better and stronger for it. And so that's what I would say to her.
Do you talk to your children about the experience? How will you speak to them when they get older?
You know, I thought that I would be having this conversation when Eureka reached the age of your kids at 6, but she's 3 years old already and asking questions. She wants to know the story of when Mommy went to Italy. And I believe in being transparent. I believe in being honest. I don't think that there should be any taboos in conversation between me and my kids. So I always give her very age-appropriate, honest answers. And I've told her the story of when Mommy went to Italy, how someone hurt her friend, and then they hurt Mommy by putting her in prison, and all of that. But I think the bigger thing that I want to convey to my kids is not something that I can say, it's the way that I can be. When I got pregnant with my daughter, I felt an incredible sense of urgency to be okay, so that I wouldn't unconsciously pass on my own trauma and my own baggage onto her. And so I took the steps that I talk about in my book to address head on my trauma. And I feel like now I can show her that what it means to go through the inevitable pains of life, but still be in a place of being okay deep down.
Well, we appreciate you sharing your story with us. The book is a very interesting and wise way of looking at life after everything that you've been through, and we really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
And Free, My Search for Meaning is available now.
Yes, a lot of build-up to this pop news.
Yes, I was excited. I better deliver. We're going to begin this morning with Miley Cyrus getting ready to give her fans something beautiful. That's the name of her upcoming album, and Miley's sharing some of the details on it. She says the cover art you see there is a nod to the album's bold aesthetic and visual storytelling. And a trailer for the new album drops at noon today. You'll want to check that out if you're a Miley fan. I know we all are.
Oh, yeah.
Last year, she took home 2 Grammys, her first for Flowers. We've been singing it all morning long.
Yep.
And she did, there it is. This will be in my head all day long now. She did it again this year, guys, with a 3rd Grammy for Best Country Duo Group Performance for the song Two Most Wanted with Beyonce. Great song as well. Well, now the new album, Something Beautiful, drops everywhere on May 30th. Miley, we cannot wait to hear it. Also in the news this morning, Isabella Strahan proving that she can conquer anything. After her brave battle with brain cancer, Isabella is the new star of Kenneth Cole's Purposeful Voices campaign, with the brand labeling her an advocate for hope after Isabella said it was that positive, never give up mindset that got her through her treatment. In fact, her quote, "Giving up was never an option," became the center of the campaign. Isabella squeezed in the shoots for the campaign as she continues her studies at USC, and you can see several looks called Isabella's Picks in the spring Kenneth Cole collection. That's available online and in stores now. Congratulations, Isabella. We're so thrilled for you.
Beautiful.
And then finally, I got to get to it. Okay. It's our GMA Ultimate On-Screen Coaches Bracket. Tens of thousands of you voted for the best on-screen coach of all time in our GMA Instagram polls, and it came down to Tom Hanks as Jimmy Dugan in A League of Their Own, and Denzel Washington as Herman Boone in Remember the Titans. This morning, the results are in, and the winner is Herman Boone, everybody! Wins the whole game, people. Denzel's inspirational turn as the tough but soft-hearted coach crushing the competition. We have loved remembering these on-screen coaches as we watch the college coaches handle the pressure of March Madness. But you know what we love even more? I can speak personally about this, is real coaches out there who make such a huge difference in their communities. I just got chills because of the differences the coaches in my life have made. So we are launching a brand new series called GMA Sideline Superheroes. Take a look. Huddle up, Team GMA!
Larry, we're right here.
Oh, sorry.
We're right
I got excited.
GMA wants to know who's the best coach in your community, in your child's life, who's made such a huge difference, because we're on the lookout for.
Are you ready to find the best coaches across America?
GMA wants to know about the impact of a dedicated coach in your town, so scan this code, nominate your favorite coach right now.
Let's honor the best coaches in America.
Thank you, Coach. And we can't wait to meet all of the inspiring real-life coaches from across America who champion their athletes to succeed on the field and in real life. Robin, to you.
You're right. Can't wait for that, Lara. But now, it is the first day of our Deals and Steals Spring Refresh. Let's get it going, Tori. Come on.
Okay, we are starting with Adorn, a brand new mailbox for the front of your house. We've got the post or the wall mounted, easiest way to protect your mail from weather or maybe a little sticky fingers, because there's even locking options for these. They look good. Lara, I think, has one in her front yard, and they're all today 50% off.
These are
They're fabulous. Okay, then we're talking about if you want to do a little refresh at home in any room in the house, these peel and stick from Wall Pops are fabulous. So you can do a wall like this. Yep. So you can do this in a wall in any room in the house. Completely changes the look, and it's super affordable to do it. Or we also have the backsplash tiles that have the look. They've got the look of expensive ceramic, but instead it's super affordable. All of these half price, huge assortment, starts at $5.
Really make the wall pop.
You got it. Okay, then we've got Frywall for when you are in the kitchen and you want to see, stir, flip, but you don't want the splash that comes all over you and the stove. This is the splatter guard that goes right into your pan from Frywall. It's silicone, and then it just stores really easily, just like this. It's compact to fit into the drawer or the cabinet. So instead of just steaming, you can sear with these. So fish, when you're making spinach, really fabulous. These start at $11.
And great colors.
Really fun colors.
Okay.
All right, opening day is coming this Thursday. So this is baseball, BBQ. We've got all of their grilling tools, as well as I love these cutting boards that are like a home plate. So you get the iconic logo of your favorite MLB team, and they really all the details are right in here, from the scrapers to all of the grilling tools. We've got it all for you, including a little bottle opener too, with the little logo right there on the bottom. Celebrate your favorite team when grilling. Starts at $15.
And I noticed the Phillies, you had the bottle opener. That's very appropriate.
Yeah, there you
Phillies
go.
fan.
All right, Pura. This is smart home fragrance. So this little teeny device just plugs in, and then it syncs with the app in your phone. Yeah, I think that's a Capri Blue scent that we've got going here. You control it from the app so that you get to decide how much or how little fragrance you want in any given room.
From your app?
From the app, yep. And so if you're not going to be home, you don't want to waste the fragrance. If you're going to be home and you want it prepared, you can do that right from the app. We've got all of the fragrances, all of the sets today, 50% off plus
free shipping.
From Pura.
That's very
it's
smart.
a really popular one. And then finally, Lands Down Under. We've got a big variety of their blankets. What I love about these is they're perfect transitions for all year round. So if you like, there's like an all cotton option that's great for seasonal transition. We've got both throws as well as these full blankets. Blankets go up to king size. We've got these. Feel how super soft this one is. There's a mix. There's three different fabric types. So depending on the look that you want, these look fabulous in any room. Great in the bed too. All 50% off today from Lands Down Under.
Okay, this is the first of 3 days.
You got it.
All right, we've partnered with these companies on all these deals. You can find them on our website. You'll be back tomorrow and the next day, and we will be right back. Naomi Watts is going to join us. Have you seen?
Welcome back to GMA, live from Times Square.
Having so much fun already with our pal. We're back. We're ready for some delicious food because Chef Michael Simon is here. We always love when he comes to visit us. GMA, we get in trouble sometimes too. He's got a new cookbook. It's so good. It's called Simon's Dinners Cooking Out. It just came out today. Thank you for being with us on the very first day. That's really very nice of you. It's full of great recipes. I mean that. I always
Thank you. I like being here.
I'm glad because we really love your food.
Thank you.
And we're going to make a recipe that has been smelling good all morning long. In the book is salads, starters, desserts. With Rebecca and Ginger working very hard at our tasting table.
Oh, we are.
They're getting after it over there.
I wouldn't have to speak, right?
It's 5 p.m. somewhere. Let's have dinner. The tasting table is working. We are now working. I see you're already cooking. Tell me a little bit about this book first.
So, all right, this is my 9th cookbook.
I know. I can't believe
nuts,
it.
you know.
I feel like you've been here for all of them.
I have. But this one is the one that Liz and I started doing Simon's Dinners Cooking Out, the show, in the beginning of the pandemic, and and here we are all these years later, and it's probably the show that resonated with people more than any show we've ever done because it was in our backyard. It was her and I cooking, kind of a little bit of peek into our lives.
So
and
this is sort of came from that.
Yeah, it came from the book is from the show.
And this recipe is one of those in the book that we picked out because I picked a good one.
Good, you picked a good one.
I picked this one out. This is like a smoky shrimp, and then we're going to couple it with a really awesome Greek salad that's got pita in it.
You got it.
Yeah.
So it's got a little bit of everything.
It.
So what I did is first thing I did is I made a marinade.
Okay.
And I have lime juice, olive oil, and then I put coriander, cumin, paprika, a little bit of chili, a touch of sugar, and lime zest in there.
How easy is that? You've got it all in your. I bet you have it all.
You have it all. Everybody has this in their pantry, just lingering.
Yeah.
So you put it in the marinade. It could be in the marinade for an hour to 5 hours.
Okay.
And then you want to start putting these on the grill for me?
Sure.
And then we also.
I have a couple of shrimp questions because I love making them, but they can go wrong very quickly.
Yeah. You got to cook them quick.
Cook them quick, but how do you know?
How do you know?
Because like little shrimp, these are huge shrimp.
They are. It's a substantial shrimp.
It sure is. Which is an oxymoron, but we need it.
So as soon as the color starts to change a little bit, and these are marinated, yes, you're getting a little chili blast. Step back here.
That is chili pepper.
Come down with me. Come down with me. I don't want to, your hair's getting curly too.
Holy moly.
You're going to grill these about 2 minutes aside.
Okay.
All right?
2 minutes aside.
And when you feel these ones real quick. Feel how they're firm, but not like a rubber band.
Yes.
You're golden.
Okay, good. Okay.
You can walk away.
I'm going to turn it down, actually, if you don't mind, before we have to call.
we're going to, crazy stuff's going on. Once they're done, done, you put them on the tray, you garnish them with some
So 2
grilled
minutes
limes.
total, and you flip shrimp after a minute, you think, roughly? Do the touch.
Feel them so they're
Wash your
firm
hands
enough.
first, please.
And some cilantro to garnish with and lime,
Okay.
and you're good.
All right, so that's super easy. The
Super
marinade,
easy.
you grill it, boom, you're done.
I love the chili, not in the smoke, but in the taste.
No, yeah, you got a little bit
Not
of
so much in the
backbone.
lungs.
Yeah.
Right, no, you have taste buds.
I'm keeping you cleared out.
The salad couldn't be easier as well.
Nope.
I love that you do it in the chopped, right, guys?
I do not like where you got to work through the lettuce. So garlic, red wine vinegar. Grab the extra virgin olive oil.
Is there a reason you're
right here? No,
using this?
that was just a friend that moved
okay.
down. You want to grab the
Okay.
oil and pour it in there?
Yes, sir.
And look, vinaigrette is always 2 parts fat to 1 part acid. All right?
2 parts fat,
1 part acid. 1 part red wine vinegar, 2 parts fat. Put in a
Yep.
pinch of salt, a little bit of cracked black
I usually
pepper.
add a little mustard in mine, but that would change
You
the
could
flavor of this.
do that too. Not very Greek. You know, I like mustard as much as anybody, but not so Greek.
Okay. All right.
All right, a little black pepper.
Fair. It's a fair statement.
It is.
Oh, wow. You love your pepper.
Yes. Now we're going to dump all this in.
Okay.
Feta, tomatoes,
Feta,
chickpeas.
everybody. Chopped tomatoes. You do a fine chop.
Yep. Chickpeas.
Love chickpea.
Me too.
Love a chickpea.
A little bit of cucumber.
A little bit. This is like 12 cucumbers.
You know what? For knowing you for like 15 years now, you're very judgy. All right, a little bit of dressing.
I love it. And then you crumble your pita chips.
I do.
Right?
We just I break them up right in there. And I like more veggie than lettuce.
Yeah.
And the other
Yep.
thing, the beautiful thing about the shrimp here is you could keep the shrimp separate or you could put
Or
it
you
on
can
the
put it
salad.
right in, which is so nice.
I
One
like.
plate,
I'm
one
not
dish.
like I'm Greek and Sicilian. This is the Greek in me. You could have cheese with your shrimp. Don't freak out.
Oh, yeah, come on.
And then you just toss it all together.
Don't freak. And then finish with this, which I have to get into.
This is like for those that know me.
What's
like,
the name of this
long
gorgeous
time,
thing?
Raspberry. So I want to tell you the story real fast. I don't like raspberries. My granddaughter Emmy, her favorite thing is raspberries. So when Liz and I were doing the show, she's like, "Pop, why you always make strawberry cake?" So this is Emmy's raspberry cake.
So
What do you think?
good. It's fantastic.
Emmy's
And easy
right.
to
Good
make.
call, Emmy.
Yeah.
We're going to have the recipe for this as well
Oh,
on
yeah.
our website.
All recipes
it's frozen,
everywhere.
It's delicious. It tastes light, and there's graham cracker crust.
Yeah,
You
everything's
had me
good.
at hello. Michael Simon, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
You guys, thumbs
Love
up.
you guys. Yes,
Every
excellent.
recipe is
Thank you.
fantastic. Check them all out. They're there for you on Good Morning America, goodmorningamerica.com. It's the chili. Or you can get his new cookbook, Michael Simon's Dinners Cooking Out. It's available right now. The new season of 24 in 24, The Greatest Show. Last Chef Standing. The show is intense. It is so good, and it premieres on April 27th on the Food Network.
Ooh, it's gonna be
Congratulations.
good. Thank you.
On that.
Thank you.
We are so delighted to have Naomi Watts, the Oscar-nominated actress, is starring in the new movie. It's called The Friend. It's based off the best-selling novel of the same name. And this morning, she's joined by her four-legged co-star, Bing. Like he heard. It's like he heard.
there
who
he
plays
is.
Apollo. Oh my goodness, it's wonderful to see you. And I watched it
you for
last
having
night and loved every second of it. I am a dog person.
Oh, hi, Bing.
It's going to be okay, Bing.
Yeah, we're here. Good morning, America.
You know, dogs and children we're supposed to stay away from, right?
That is the old saying.
Yeah.
But he defied the odds, and he was the most cooperative co-star in every possible way. I mean, look at those ears. They hear everything. He's on alert all day. He knows behaviors. He is sensitive to what's going on, and that makes him a really good screen partner.
Yeah. That's what you look for in a screen partner.
Yes, it's all about reacting and giving and making yourself available, and he really ticked all the boxes.
Yeah, and to tell people a little bit more about it, your character takes care of a 150-pound Great Dane that's called Apollo. This is Bing. Because your friend passed away suddenly
Yep.
and asked you to take care of the dog. But
Yes.
did you all do some bonding before
Oh yeah, we
filming?
did some high-level training about 4 to 6 weeks before we started filming because it was absolutely necessary to have a really good sense of trust. He needed to know that I was in charge of him while the cameras were rolling. And so I needed to not be afraid. I needed to be, highly equipped to dominating him, but in a, you know, gentle, trusting way.
Absolutely.
And we were shooting in the streets of New York City, so all kinds of interference could take place, whether it was human beings who like just want to come up and go, oh my God, he's amazing, or whether it was traffic, you know, or bikes,
sure,
or other dogs. We had to know and be ready for unpredictable scenarios. And you know, our trainer Bill Baloney and Bev, his owner, they were saying, don't worry, if he pulls on you, just let him go because we're there. And I was like, I'm not letting him go.
No,
I don't want my hands to be the last hands before something happens. And it never happened. He was always, I mean, because of his training, you know, very, very easy to work with.
And you guys grew very close. So
yes.
I understand that when you all wrapped, that you forgot to say goodbye and you went back.
Yes.
And what happened?
Well, I said, because he has a wonderful talent, a whole skill set on his resume, I imagine. But one of them is that he can sing. And every time an actor rapped, he gave them a special send-off.
Can you give us a little
Let's
something?
give it a go,
Oh, let's
Robin.
give it a go, okay. That's the most, I know, the most beautiful song I've ever heard in my life.
Yes, I needed a treat to give you, didn't I? That's so you go back to sleep. Like,
oh my gosh.
I wish we all could.
But I want folks to see a little bit of The Friend.
Yes, I would
and see
love
your
that.
other co-star.
Okay, yes. My two-legged one.
I'm running late, so can you just help me? I have an appointment. Can you let me in?
I can't, I'm sorry.
Sir, can you call your boss, please?
Remove the door.
No, I will not. Just let me inside, please.
I can't do it. It's my job on the line.
Okay, right. I'll sit here too.
Yeah, 5-3 the base.
And the two-legged co-star that we didn't see in that clip, Bill Murray.
Bill Murray.
Who is the owner of Apollo.
Yes, the original owner in the story, yeah.
And also a mentor, you're very close with him.
Yes.
Now, I've known Bill Murray for
Yes.
quite some time.
I'm sure.
He's not the easiest to get in touch with. Okay, so how did you go about contacting him?
Well, I had worked with him before, and we'd had a successful experience, and I had his phone number. I didn't know if it still worked, and I certainly didn't know that he would respond, because, as you say, he's hard to get hold of. So I dropped him a message and said, I've got this piece of material that I think you might connect with, and it's based on a book of Sigrid Nunes, a wonderful book, and won the National Book Award Prize, and let me talk to you about it. And he called me back right away. I was really surprised. And then I hand delivered a hard copy, because he's not going to be reading it on digital, along with the book. And it turns out he responded, and
he's great.
He's wonderful in the movie because he's got all the necessary things. He's soulful, he's funny, he's charismatic, he's bold and flirtatious, and all of those things. And he resembles the dog,
I know. I'm
which
sure
is, you know, someone that pulls a lot of focus, who's dynamic, and look at those eyes, so soulful, just like Bill.
Yeah. Also, can I talk about the other thing? Ryan Murphy, the series that you're working with him. I know you've worked with him before.
Yes.
Talk about this cast that you are working with.
Yes, it's such an amazing lineup of wonderful ladies, dynamic ladies. Glenn Close, Kim Kardashian, Niecy Nash, Sarah Paulson. And my third time working with Ryan. We've had quite the time of it. We had an incredible experience. So many women, you know, and all rooting for each other. There's some juicy bits in there too.
I know that you can't share. I'm sure with that lineup.
Yeah.
Naomi, thank you.
Thank
all
you for
all the best to you.
having me.
You're always just a ray of sunshine when you come in. I know that you're on West Coast time and
Yes.
you're as sleepy as Bing, but we would
Yes.
never know it. We would never
Oh,
know it. Bless
thanks,
you.
Robin.
And
Thanks,
I enjoyed the film thoroughly. And I want everybody to know The Friend is in select theaters this Friday and then nationwide April 4th. You will enjoy it. Now let's go to Ginger.
Great to see it. Thank you, Robin. Okay, so 2020's limited series Bad Romance is back with an all-new second season. The 8-episode series looks at some of the most shocking true crime stories. It is hosted by ABC News contributor and ESPN analyst Ryan Smith. The new season starts tonight right here on ABC at 10 p.m. Eastern and streams on Hulu.
Now to The Bachelor. Grant Ellis meeting his match. He handed out his final rose and proposed to Juliana last night. Our Jacqueline Lee spoke to the happy couple.
This morning, The Bachelor, Grant Ellis.
Juliana?
Yeah.
Will you marry me?
Yes! Now engaged to Juliana Pascarosa. Great. First, can I see the ring?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that is beautiful. The couple sitting down with us overnight. How does it feel to be engaged?
It's a blessing, you know, to go on the show. You don't know what the outcome is going to be, but I have the best possible outcome.
Yeah, I feel really lucky that he made the decision that he did. I think there were so many amazing girls on his season.
Juliana setting herself apart from night one, showing off her sweet side.
Would you do me the honor and share this cannoli with me?
Of course.
Grant, how many cannolis have you eaten?
Oh man, listen, I liked Italian food before this, but now I'm a big fan.
In the finale, Grant more conflicted than ever before, leaning on both his parents for guidance.
As your mom, this is about you and your heart and your head.
There's so many different personalities in my family, but they told me whatever decision that I chose, they were going to support and love through it.
You deserve to be happy, and that's all that matters.
A painful and awkward goodbye to Latia, who he had a strong connection with from the beginning.
I'm not your person.
When did it change?
I hope you don't view me any differently, and I hope that
Well, I do, for sure. Come on now.
But Grant ultimately giving Juliana the final rose. What is your response to the people who are very critical about your breakup with Latia?
I think that everybody's going to have their own opinion. For that, I would say, you know, try to empathize. And I empathize with Latia. Like, I could admit my wrongs, but I went in there searching for my person, and I found it.
After seeing the breakup play out, do you have questions for Grant, like she said that you would?
No, I think that, you know, we talked about things right before everything even started airing. I think that we kind of ran through everything, but ultimately, I don't doubt anything you say because you show up with your actions, and that means more to me than anything.
With their family support, the couple excited to start their chapter together. You guys have each other.
Yeah, we got each other.
You get to do wedding planning.
Then we get to do wedding planning.
Congratulations. Our thanks to Jacqueline Lee for that. Coming up here, the stars of Doctor Who talk about the new season.
Welcome back, guys. I sat down with the stars of Doctor Who, Ncuti Gatwa and Raddatz Setu, as fans get ready for a brand new season of this hit series.
This is a time machine.
Boom.
The action-packed, time-traveling, out-of-this-world series Doctor Who is back.
I'm the doctor.
Doctor what?
Just the doctor.
All right, then. I'm called the nurse.
Good team.
And this time, the Doctor meets a new companion, Belinda Chandra, played by Raddatz Setu. So every season, Doctor has a sidekick. This season, it's Belinda. What was that like for you?
Oh, God. It was so surreal. I did not expect myself to be back because I did one episode in the season before. So I was just saw it as a closed door. So when I had the call, it was like truly unbelievable in the true sense of that word. I really couldn't believe it. So I was
so excited.
So happy to be back and to be working with this one again.
Come on, so much fun. And Radda just brings the best energy to set and to the show.
I could say the same about you.
And Belinda as well as a character is like we've not had a companion that challenges the Doctor as much as Belinda does.
Have you got two hearts?
Padam, padam.
No way. Can I? Do you mind if I? Wow. That's so weird.
How did you prepare for the role, knowing that you were stepping into a completely imaginary world?
You're aware that you're joining a legacy, and you're aware you're joining like an institution. So I really wanted to become familiar with the world of it all. And so I watched a lot of the previous seasons and just really fell in love with the show and the sense of escapism
1963
in it, and just the fact that you travel to a different place each episode and you get to escape all your worldly troubles. It's how I prepare, just watching everyone else.
The series carrying on the franchise's more than 60-year legacy with some surprises we're told lifelong fans will love.
Whovians will love this season. It's
Whovians.
so many Easter eggs for them.
Yeah.
And I feel...
The best reveal.
The best reveal.
So-
But the Doctor's facing, like, the greatest trouble he's ever faced before.
They have great chemistry.
They do.
I tried
Wow.
for those reveals for the Whovians. I'm sorry I didn't get a lot, but Doctor Who begins streaming April 12th on Disney+. You'll enjoy it.
Well, 2 mornings in a row, we don't have to have breakfast because we have breakfast on the
Yeah.
show.
Feeling
Pizza
good.
yesterday,